Hi everyone, my name is Barb Fecto and I will be your guide through LBS850, which is Emerging Technologies for Libraries. And this is, I want to say, my 6th or 7th time teaching this course. I really enjoy it. The only thing that I don't enjoy is that all these technologies are constantly emerging, so it keeps changing up. One of the things about this class that really makes it special for me is that people are coming at it from all different ability levels. So there are often people taking the course who already have their IT certification or who are in the technology field. And then sometimes there are people who, are just starting out in the field and don't have a big technology background. So I want to talk right up front about expectations for the course. It's a summer course, so it's only 12 weeks instead of the 15 weeks that we have. I've shaved off some of the fat that's not particularly necessary, but basically what it rolls down to, instead of doing a 9-hour week, which for an online course, it's good to have an idea of how long you should be spending on the course because there's no face-to-face. So the way that we figure it in this department is you'd have 3 hours worth of classes during the week, and then 2 hours for each of homework for each hour of class. So in a 15-week course, that's 9 hours. For this course, it's 11 point, I think it's 11 and a quarter. You can horseshoes it, but but plan on about 11 hours each week of work. Now, it may sound strange to you that I'm telling you that because I'm going to give you work to do. There will be some reading. The discussion is key. I'll talk about that later. But a lot of this course is exploration. A lot of it is going from your point of comfort and then diving into the technology that we're looking at. Not every week is going to be that way. There are some weeks where you'll have a specific, large project to do. There are the weeks we do cataloging with anyone who's coming in here with an MLS already. It really is specific to school libraries, and it's only 2 weeks. It's not going to, I hope it's not bringing up any nightmares for you. I loved cataloging, but I'm an orderly, not that you can tell from my bookcase, but I'm a nut about order. So anyway, you're going to be working at your own pace. So if you are unsure and if you're nervous and you're just getting started, take your time, get comfortable with the basics. If you're somebody who's got a background in this, go nuts, man. Just take off, explore. We have, sort of thematic aspects that we're looking at, but go out and find new stuff and bring it to the discussion, or work on things that you want for your own practice. The way that we keep track of this is through the blog. Everybody has a blog for this course. We're gonna get it going the first week, and that's where you chart your experience. So if you find something new, put a link there. If you have some pedagogical idea that you want to remember, put it in the blog and it'll be there forever. The discussion is also key. It's a great size. The last course I taught, which some of you were in, was 22 students, which was a lot. We had to split the discussion. I think we're at 15 or 16, so that's really reasonable for just one weekly discussion, but I really want it to be robust. Please be aware you need to post at least 2 times a week, 2 different days. You should, check it. Check it like it's something you're excited about. I know I do. And keep it conversational. I do ask that you put a heading if you're starting a new topic. If you're not in a thread, put a heading just so that people get an idea of, what the point of it is. But other than that, that's where we really collaborate and where we really, get to know one another. I spend time in the discussion. I read all the discussion, but I tend not to post in the discussion because I really want it to be student-led. And so far, it's been really robust because we have people coming from different perspectives. So if you have a question, don't feel like it's a stupid question. If it's, about the reading or related to the topic at hand, go ahead and ask it. If you are somebody who has a lot of experience here and you have advice, feel free to throw that in there too. There is a help discussion. There are 2 just ungraded discussions. One is help. If you have any questions that are specific for me or that might not be, entirely related to the class, but you want to use our collective brain, that goes in the help discussion. And then there's the getting to know you discussion, which as soon as you finish this video, I would like you to go to the getting to know you discussion and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do when you're not what you do when you're not in front of this computer, what your plans are for the summer, what your experiences in the technology realm of technology. Just to give, it's nice for me because then I can reference back when I see your work too. All right, supplies. You're going to need supplies for this class. I would recommend fresh fruit. It's good for you. It keeps you, energized. The sugar, maybe some bread and cheese for protein. I don't know. You'll need a reward when you're done. Oh, that's not very good. You'll need a reward, or I don't know what your reward needs are, but when you finish your 11 hours, feel free to, reward yourself. Let's see. Oh, probably more importantly, the texts. So the first one is blogs, wikis, podcasts, and other powerful web tools for classrooms. Honestly, this book was published in 2010. It's the third edition. And it's some of the technologies in here. He talks about Ning, which has kind of gone the way of the dodo. Some of the wiki sites that he talks about are no longer. He talks about RSS readers, which we don't even really use that terminology so much anymore. But the pedagogy in here is very good. It's very specific to school libraries. I was going to say, if you're a newbie, grab it. But what I will say is that if you're a newbie or if you're somebody who's good at technology but hasn't worked with the educational sort of implementation of it, I would urge you to get it. It's not a very expensive book. It's available on Amazon. It's like $27 or something, and it's worth having. I'm going to put the first week's section that I want you to read. I digitized that and I'll put it up as a PDF just because in case you don't get it in time. But I have decided that I'm going to go with this. I'm going to give it one more year. I'm going to hope that maybe he puts out a fourth edition for next time with a little more timely, content. But it is a valuable resource to have. The other one, catalog it. All right, I love this book. It's the cataloging aspect of this course. I just do a bite the bullet system. Basically, you're going to catalog it cover to cover in 2 weeks. And I'll tell you more about that when we get to that section. If you've never done cataloging, it's very illuminating. If you're somebody who's already done cataloging, if you already have an MLS, or if you're already in a school library, it's still, if you already have an MLS but aren't in education, it's great because it's very specific to schools. If you're in a school library, you may not, it may be, it still breaks down things that I don't do on a daily basis. Mark records, I very rarely fiddle around with those. I have an online public access catalog for that. But it's nice to know the structure behind it. It's good for building Dewey numbers, although I have a link for that. That's fantastic. So it is worth having, and you're going to need it for 2 weeks. So those are the texts. Anything else that's required, I'm going to put in every week. So the home page will be the modules page. Each week is a module, and all of the reading that you'll need for that, links to the discussion, links to the grading tool for your blog, links to the grading tool for any assignment that there may be. And there won't be assignments every week, and some week there will be very big assignments. But everything should be 11 hours. Oh, another thing that I wanted to show you, pretend like I'm holding a timer in my hand. Get a timer or use the timer. I guess we all have a timer on our phones. But do keep track of how much time you spend, because some days you can just fall down the rabbit hole and, get lost there. I'm sure you know how that goes with the internet. And then some weeks you'll be like, wow, I got this work done so quick. I'm going to go watch Handmaid's Tale, which is something that I'm obsessed with. But you want to make sure that you give yourself that time for exploration. Even if you're comfortable with the topic at hand, whatever time you have left over, go in, look for articles that may be of interest to you or to your classmates, play with newer tools that you are not familiar with, look at other sort of, anything thematic in that area. So not every week is going to lend itself to that. Some weeks, I think week one, we're going to have plenty of work to do. And of course, your cataloging week, it'll just be reading and weeping and posting in the discussion board. It's actually kind of fun. All right, so right now I'm just going to go through what I've written below. So from this point forward, if you're tired of my voice, then you can shut this off, but I'm just going to do a verbal run through of the introduction that is already written out. Before I go, I wanted to point out to people who took this class last year, I don't know if you can tell, but my Dining room is a new shade of green, so I did that for you guys, spiffing up the place. Um, just kidding. My family came to visit. They just left. That's why the big smile is on my face. All right, so if you just would prefer to read the rest of it, go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to take you through it one step at a time. All right, so in this course, we have 4 distinct sections. The first is change as a constant in the school library setting. I think at this point, we all get that, so we're not doing as much, but there will be some articles to read, some discussion just about how, we're evolving. We're at the forefront of sort of the technology, certainly of technology and information literacy in our schools. That's our wheelhouse. So change, it's constantly changing, and staying abreast of that is important. So that is a very short, it's actually not even a whole module. It's probably half of module 1. Then the second section is online applications and their relevance in the school library setting. And this is looking at the internet, basically. We're, just getting on there and looking around at what is what. The different topics are listed in the syllabus by week. So there's tools. So module 1, we're going to throw in blogging in there. Module 2, we're going to start with adaptive and assistive technology, which is providing specific resources for students who have different instructional needs. And we're going to do that up front because there is a portion where you're going to need to, if you're in a school, it's fine. You'll just be working in your own school. If you're not in a school, you are going to need to find a school. If you don't, if you have kids and they're in a school, you could, I'm sure, ask them at your kid's school. Or if not, let me know and I will hook you up with somebody in your area and you can investigate that way. So that's adaptive and assistive module 2. Module 3 is tools and module 4 is applications. The difference is, I don't really know. The way that I kind of divide them is tools are things that you can use for a number of different things. They're like the Google Suite. Those are tools. Flickr, if you're looking at Flickr, that sort of thing. Those are tools, and there might be some overlap with Carol Kelly's course because some of them are just online sort of archivey things. Then applications are tools, but that do a specific thing, that change something into another or that help you solve a specific problem. So tools and apps, it's kind of amorphous, but that's modules 3 and 4. Module 5 is online multimedia, and that is, there's everything, YouTube, podcasting, all of those cool little apps that, allow kids to do video timelines. So that's online multimedia. It's a big umbrella. So there will be a focus of very specific stuff for people who are just starting out. And if it's something that is something you're great at, then you're going to be able to impress us. Module 6 is promotion in social media. So that's using social media and communication as a tool for your library, as a tool for your own practice. And then module 7 is student interest, communication, and gaming. And that's going to look at how your students, because we do need to be aware of this, how they're using social media in their own life. And also, gaming is important. It's huge, clearly, but it also is a way that we can sort of build bridges with our students and knowing how they're, how they respond to it. We won't be doing a ton of game theory, but we'll do a little, and we won't be doing a ton of gaming in education, like how we can use gaming, because frankly, that sort of goes throughout the course, I think. All right, section 3 is professional development. We have 2 modules. Module 8 is teaching teachers. That's about being a professional development leader in your school and ways that you can connect with your faculty, even if you're not, like I have a completely flexible schedule, so it's pretty easy for me to do this sort of thing. But in a fixed schedule, it's harder, but there are workarounds for that. So we'll talk about that. And that'll be a big project. You'll be doing a professional development project for your real school or your mythical school. And then module 9 is student technology promotion project. And that is a unit or series of lessons. And it's a big project that sort of shows your ability to take what you've learned previously in the course and enrich a lesson with it or enrich a unit with it. And it's kind of the only thing in this course that's not real world, because it's very unlikely that someone's going to come to you and say, hey, I want to teach a unit on this and I want a ton of technology and you know. But this is one where if you're in a fixed schedule, it's terrific because you can use your own time with your students as your template for this, and hopefully it'll be something that you can use in your practice. All right, modules 10 and 11, that's where we catalog. Module 10 is looking at Dewey and Library of Congress. It's looking at how we, how we organize books on the shelf, how things become organized, using the word organized a lot. And then module 11 is mark records. That's sort of the background. We'll look a little bit at metadata. And that's all that stuff's in catalog it. That's super easy for me those weeks because Allison Kaplan is doing all the heavy lifting. And then module 12 is the last one. That's where we look at OPACs, online public access catalogs, and that is how, we our portal into our collection. And we'll look at, if you're already in a library, it's going to be 50% easier for you because you've already got an OPAC that you're familiar with. And we'll do a project wherein we either, our mythical administrators are either saying, hey, do you want a new OPAC? And then you can research a new OPAC. Or they're saying, hey, I talked to this guy, and even though I don't know anything about it, I decided that you're going to change your OPAC, and then you can write a proposal saying, we've already got a really good one, and this is why we want to stick with it. So that gives you the opportunity to look at, to break down what you're familiar with, but also look at something new and compare. So that's that. The due dates are 11:59 p.m. on Monday night. I sometimes get up at 4 on Tuesday and start grading, but it's not always accurate. So anything by 11:59 Monday is on time. Get your stuff in on time. If you are traveling over the summer, and I probably should have said this earlier in the video, but whatever, I'll reference it again later. If you are on vacation or if you're traveling or you need to take a week off, you can feel free to work ahead. The only thing that is super timely is the discussion. It really needs to be within that week. If you have extenuating circumstances, if you're not going to have Wi-Fi for a week, let me know. But otherwise, I do expect you to keep your discussion within the week that it's due. But the assignments and things like that, as long as you let me know ahead of time, if you are going to be away for one of the project weeks and you want to, either get it in ahead of time, which is optimal, or double up the following week, it's your choice. Just let me know. All right. Expectations. Everything is laid out on the modules page in Canvas. I have that set as the home page. I think that automatically sets it for everybody, but if it doesn't, get the modules page. Read everything in the module. If it's something that is what is the word that I'm trying to think of? If it's not necessary, but just sort of an enrichment piece, I'll put that in brackets. Otherwise, everything is required for reading. There will be an introduction with a video every week. I will put the videos up on Saturday, but don't get nervous. You don't have to. The class runs Monday to Monday, but I try to put everything up a little early. And I'm going to open up modules as I re-edit. I go over and re-edit and add things. So as I do that, I'll open up the modules so you can look ahead. I don't have a problem with that. But be timely with your stuff. 2 days a week on the discussion. I already mentioned that. The rubrics file is sort of misnamed. It's not like a grid rubrics, but it does explain the expectations, particularly for the discussion. The blog is a little more your own thing, but it'll be graded every week, 3 points a week, showing, sort of enough content. And then, I'll look it over at the end as well as a singular project. So the grading is 20% your blog. So it is, even though it's you don't get a ton of feedback on it, although sometimes I get carried away. Your professional development projects are 20%, so those are 10% a piece. Your cataloging system presentation for the last module, that's 10% also. Your written and media assignments occasionally will have coursework. I know we do it the gaming week and the adaptive and assistive week. I'm not sure where else I've gone too far. Yeah, so definitely module 2, module 4, no, module 2, module 7, module 8, 9, and 12. Those ones have big assignments. And then there are a couple little assignments. When you do multimedia, I ask you to bring back, sort of go out hunting and bring me back what you find. So you'll be setting things up, but it's Mostly, it's just a format for you to explore. All righty. And then the online discussion, that's 20% because discussion is very important to me. All right. I believe that that is everything that I need to tell you about. Yep, talked about timing, discussion format. Oh my gosh, that's my son calling me. Sorry. But it's good. This video is finished, so I now just have to get back to QuickTime so that I can shut it off. All right, I very much look forward to seeing your work this summer. If you have any questions, you can always email me in Canvas. And if you respond to me in the grading tool, I get an email for that. So I can make sure you read your feedback because I give good feedback. I'm not braggy about a lot of things, but I can play the piano adequately and I give good feedback. So read it. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, email me, post it in the help thing, go do your introduction, and I will see you on the boards. Bye.